You are watching a 20-year-old Ukrainian bored. A one-way flight to America with wire rim glasses and a nervous laugh. He looks like he should be debugging code in a dorm room rather than sitting in first class with two federal escorts. He truly thinks he is about to become the next massive success story in Silicon Valley. Exactly 7 hours and 23 minutes later, he will be in handcuffs. Meet Maxim Popov, who walked into the American embassy in London yesterday with a life-changing offer. He wanted to trade Eastern European hacking secrets in exchange for the ultimate American dream. For 4 straight months, he had been negotiating this exact deal for a new identity and a legitimate job. The agents promised him everything he asked for, including seed funding for his own tech startup. They lied about every single detail. The second his feet touch American soil at the airport, the friendly smiles instantly vanish without a trace. The same agents who bought him expensive drinks in London suddenly snap cold steel handcuffs onto his wrists. The work visa they promised him is actually a federal arrest warrant waiting to be executed. Instead of a lavish welcome party, he receives a concrete isolation cell. They just taught their prisoner a valuable lesson. If the supposed good guys can lie this perfectly, just imagine what the actual bad guys are capable of doing. To understand this kid, we must rewind to Ukraine in the year 1995. While average teenagers are playing video games, 15-year-old Max discovers something far more addictive. He starts stealing money from people who will never even know his real name. His very first victims are his own classmates. He sells fake homework to lazy students, but soon realizes that teenagers do not have real wealth. By 16, he is already running a small criminal empire straight from his childhood bedroom. He knows that American adults have the deep pockets he desperately craves. Max soon joins a notorious expert group of protection against hackers. Despite its highly official-sounding name, it is actually a massive criminal organization filled with skilled cybercriminals. His absolute specialty is social engineering, which means manipulating ordinary humans into revealing passwords and installing malicious software. He boldly calls American companies while pretending to be an IT support technician. He smoothly tricks employees into compromising their own corporate security systems. Within just a few short months, he is stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars. The victims never even realize they have been completely robbed blind by a teenager across the world. By the year 2000, the federal authorities know his exact name and exactly where he sleeps at night. They know he has stolen millions from countless American victims, but they simply cannot touch him legally. Max operates from a country that has absolutely no extradition treaty with the United States. The authorities realize they must lure him out of his safe haven. They create fake job opportunities at prominent American technology companies. They build highly professional websites, featuring convincing job descriptions and salaries that would make any programmer pack his bags immediately. The elaborate trap works perfectly as Max takes the bait and enthusiastically contacts the embassy in London. He genuinely believes he is negotiating legitimate employment opportunities with massive technology firms. He has absolutely no idea he is actually negotiating his own federal arrest with highly trained law enforcement agents working deep undercover. However, Max is about to learn something the authorities completely fail to anticipate during their celebratory victory lap. Getting caught does not necessarily mean getting beaten into total submission by the justice system. Sometimes it simply means getting a masterclass education about how your powerful enemies truly operate in the shadows. Max is an incredibly fast learner who absorbs every single detail of their deception. He is already planning his next calculated move. We find ourselves in a secure Virginia safe house during the spring of 2001. For 3 agonizing months, Max plays along perfectly with his captors. Every morning at exactly 8 o'clock, armed agents escort him to a highly monitored computer station. They intensely watch him log directly into underground Russian hacker forums while recording every single keystroke. They foolishly believe they are gathering actionable intelligence to take down major cyber syndicates. What happens next will cost the authorities absolutely everything they have worked for. Max begins communicating rapidly in heavily slang-filled Russian that his appointed minders simply cannot understand. He types a very simple but devastating message to his old criminal crew stating that Uncle Sam is watching. He systematically warns every major player in the digital underground that his current identity has been severely compromised. He burns the entire operation to ashes. For 3 whole months, he sends out hundreds of active warnings right under their noses. There are absolutely 0 agents in the room who can speak authentic street Russian. When federal linguists finally translate the massive chat logs in April, an agent literally throws a heavy chair completely across the room. Their highly prized star informant has been burning their active investigations since the very first day. They storm the safe house immediately. They aggressively strip away all of his special privileges and throw him directly into a bleak county jail cell. As the heavy steel door loudly slams shut, Max does not beg for mercy or offer any desperate pleas. He just smiles coldly and delivers a chillingly prophetic statement to his captors. He tells them they have absolutely no idea what they are actually dealing with. He knows his supreme intelligence makes him far too valuable. Thousands of miles away in California, one solitary agent sees a golden opportunity where others only see a disastrous failure. His name is EJ Hilbert, and he has been tracking Eastern European hackers relentlessly for 3 long years. He understands a fundamental truth that his rigid colleagues completely fail to grasp. You cannot catch cunning wolves by sending out obedient sheepdogs. You desperately need to deploy another ruthless wolf to do the hunting. During the blistering summer of 2002, Hilbert makes Max an offer that sounds completely insane. He wants Max to help the authorities infiltrate the largest cybercrime forum in the world and eventually walk free. There is only one massive condition attached to this unbelievable deal. Max must work directly from a tiny jail cell by day and ruthlessly hunt dangerous hackers by night. Welcome to the dawn of Operation Ant City. The designated target forum is absolutely crazy and unlike anything the authorities have ever encountered before. 10,000 hardened criminals are gathered in one single digital place buying and selling stolen human lives. That notorious marketplace is called Carter Planet, and it functions as the ultimate superstore of widespread identity theft. Premium credit cards are sold for merely $1, while entire social security numbers go for $5. It is a massive digital bloodbath. Buyers can purchase entire civilian identities, complete with childhood addresses and first pet names for just $30. This dark corner of the internet is exactly where Max must completely rebuild his shattered reputation from scratch. He cannot act like an informant, but rather must become the biggest and most aggressive buyer in the entire game. The authorities hand him $50,000 and give him a very simple mission to shop until he drops. Every single purchase he makes serves as an invisible but deadly trap for the sellers. When criminals confidently send stolen credit cards to his carefully faked address, they have instantly committed a massive federal crime. Hilbert painstakingly traces each purchased card straight back to its original corporate data breach. One routine purchase quickly leads to a completely hacked international hotel chain. Another shocking revelation exposes a major department store bleeding vital customer data continuously. The operation is undeniably brilliant and incredibly effective, but it is about to get highly personal. It is Thanksgiving Day, and while most Americans are eating warm turkey with their loving families, Max sits completely alone. He is confined strictly to a sterile conference room where absolutely no outside visitors are legally allowed. Officially speaking, his current identity does not even exist on any government record. He is a ghost, trapped in the system. The heavy door swings open, and Hilbert walks in carrying something that actually makes the young hacker tear up. He brings a massive Thanksgiving feast, complete with roasted turkey and sweet cranberry sauce and fresh pumpkin pie. Then the seasoned agent does something completely unprecedented in the rigid history of federal investigations. He wheels in a loud projector and simply starts playing a 3-hour fantasy epic about brave hobbits saving the world. They do not discuss the dark underworld of cybercrime or review any pending federal cases. They simply watch the cinematic adventure unfold while silently eating their warm pie together in the dimly lit room. Max later describes this very specific afternoon as the pivotal moment when absolutely everything shifted in his mind. For the very first time since landing in America, someone actually treated him like a normal human being instead of a disposable asset. That transformative night, he makes a firm decision that will eventually bring down the elusive founder of Carter Planet. The criminal mastermind goes by the alias Script, but his real name and physical location remain completely unknown to law enforcement. The only certain fact is that he personally handles the absolute biggest illicit deals on the entire dark web forum. Max patiently spends 6 grueling weeks building a solid relationship with this digital ghost. Max carefully pretends to be a highly connected Ukrainian middleman, working directly with massively corrupt banking officials. Finally, the cautious kingpin agrees to conduct a preliminary test purchase with the eager new buyer. He ships out $400 worth of stolen premium credit cards to seal their new partnership. The illicit package safely arrives at the federal headquarters, tightly wrapped in authentic Ukrainian newspaper. Inside are 200 freshly stolen corporate credit cards. However, the brilliant criminal mastermind made one incredibly fatal mistake that would cost him his entire empire. He foolishly included a handwritten note tucked away deep inside the carefully wrapped package. Hilbert immediately runs the distinct handwriting through massive international police databases and scores a perfect match. They discover that script is actually a man named Roman Vega living comfortably in Odessa. 6 months later, armed local police loudly knock on his front door. By April 2003, the unprecedented undercover operation has successfully prevented $70 million in massive fraud. A federal judge carefully reviews the incredible case file, detailing 8 straight months of highly successful undercover work. The judge makes a shocking decision that completely stuns the aggressive prosecution team into total silence. He instantly sentences the young hacker to time served and allows him to walk completely free. Max steps out into the sunshine. The authorities agree to pay him a monthly stipend and provide a nice apartment near the sunny California coast. They arrogantly think they officially own him, but you simply cannot cage someone who already knows how to pick the lock. Suddenly, a catastrophic crisis erupts when 8 million sensitive credit card numbers get violently stolen from a major processing company. If you physically stacked the printed documents, they would reach the 40th floor of a skyscraper. A bold criminal named Rez claims he has the massive database and wants to broker an immediate illicit deal. Max urgently needs to prove he is a highly legitimate buyer capable of handling such a massive underworld transaction. Inside a highly secure bank vault, federal agents stack $200,000 in crisp $100 bills. Max confidently grabs a thick stack of cash and smoothly fans it out directly at the rolling camera. The brilliant trap is set. Max wants far more than just recovering the stolen credit cards, because he desperately wants the real name of the hacker. He brilliantly invents a totally fake credit card manufacturing firm and claims they urgently need top-tier security consultants. He builds a highly professional corporate website and creates multiple fake employee email accounts to complete the elaborate illusion. He casually mentions to the young hacker that their starting corporate salary is $70,000. The naive criminal practically breaks his expensive keyboard, rapidly typing up his professional resume for the amazing job opportunity. He willingly hands over his full legal name and home address, and even provides a clear scan of his passport. The seasoned technical agents actively watching this unbelievable scenario unfold actually laugh out loud in their secure monitoring room. The young criminal literally just applied for a corporate job at his own federal sting operation. Within a mere 72 hours, the foolish hacker has an official international red notice firmly attached to his name. But something incredibly profound happens inside that secure bank vault, while Max is confidently playing with the federal cash. He suddenly realizes he is no longer just catching ordinary criminals for the government anymore. He is completely transformed into their absolute greatest success story. He knows exactly how to manipulate the entire system to his ultimate advantage. Living the sweet California dream in a beautiful apartment completely subsidized by American taxpayers, Max drives a luxury sports car. He officially starts a new security consulting company and aggressively markets his services to recently hacked American corporations. His dark business model is essentially a massive protection racket, cleverly disguised as legitimate corporate cybersecurity consulting. He actively uses his deep connections to orchestrate the very attacks he later gets paid to quickly resolve. Ruthless Ukrainian hackers brutally steal vital corporate data, causing massive American companies to panic uncontrollably. Max smoothly steps in and generously offers to negotiate with the dangerous criminals for a very hefty consulting fee. He then quietly collects massive illicit payments from both sides of the digital conflict. It is exactly like hiring a known arsonist to run your city fire department while having official federal government endorsements to back up your credibility. The authorities have absolutely no idea what their prized asset is truly doing behind their backs. The golden opportunity to escalate things further arrives on a chilly New Year Eve in 2004. Max makes a late-night phone call that will either make him incredibly rich or completely destroy his handler. He tells his handler to check his secure email because the entire federal bureau has just been catastrophically hacked. Someone has gained total root access to incredibly sensitive internal emails and every single active confidential informant file. The highly classified documents Max sends over make the seasoned agent feel his blood freeze completely solid. One document is a highly detailed dossier on a major mob boss, while another lists every active undercover hacker. The header on every single page clearly screams, "Do not transmit over the internet," yet here they are fully exposed. The powerful Federal Bureau is forced to cut a massive check to the new security company for $10,000. It is the very first time in their entire history they have paid a foreign national to solve their own security breach. Max quickly identifies the supposed hacker, and even arranges a smooth digital introduction for his desperate handler. The aggressive investigation leads to a rapid arrest, and Max receives an official glowing letter of commendation. Just a few weeks later, an agent opens a highly secure email attachment, and his face goes completely white with sheer terror. He is staring directly at stolen corporate source code worth roughly $500 million. The mysterious sender is using a known alias directly linked to Max and is demanding massive immediate payments. The powerful prosecutors demand the real name of the informant, forcing the loyal handler into an impossible and totally destructive career choice. The loyal handler has exactly 3 agonizing seconds to decide whether to protect his best source or save his own career. He firmly knows he simply cannot do both things successfully in this incredibly hostile interrogation room. If he exposes his prized informant, he will instantly compromise massive ongoing national security operations. He firmly refuses to give up the real name, and immediately becomes the prime target of a vicious internal federal investigation. Within 3 short days, his work computer is completely seized, and all of his private communication records are ruthlessly subpoenaed. Close colleagues who used to grab morning coffee with him now actively avoid making any direct eye contact in the hallways. The legendary hero of the greatest undercover digital operation has suddenly become completely radioactive to the entire agency. Meanwhile, back in Eastern Europe, the brilliant hacker quietly collects $30,000 in direct corporate extortion money. The absolute most heartbreaking detail is when his young 5-year-old daughter innocently asks why Daddy seems so incredibly sad. He simply cannot tell her the devastating truth that he trusted the wrong person and might actually go to federal prison. The massive investigation eventually finds absolutely no hard evidence of criminal wrongdoing, but the permanent damage is already done. His heavily anticipated promotion is firmly denied, and his brilliant government career is completely over. After months of painfully watching his entire life dissolve in extreme slow motion, he makes the only logical choice left. He solemnly places his heavy badge and loaded service weapon directly onto his supervisor desk and walks away forever. 15 long years of dedicated service are completely ended by a brilliant young kid he actively tried to help. He eventually becomes a highly successful private consultant, but 2 burning questions continue to violently haunt his sleepless nights. 7 long years pass by in total silence, until his personal phone suddenly rings loudly in the year 2012. The glowing screen brightly displays a familiar international country code that makes his heart completely skip a beat. The quiet voice on the other end belongs to the very same hacker who completely destroyed his entire professional life. He calls simply to say thank you for that warm holiday dinner and for treating him like a real human being. They talk deeply for 3 entire hours, as the former hacker explains he has a family now and works completely legitimately. Then almost casually, he violently drops a massive truth bomb that shatters every single remaining illusion. He calmly confesses that he was actually the true mastermind who deliberately hacked the Federal Bureau years ago. He completely orchestrated the massive breach and then brilliantly sold the perfect solution right back to the desperate government agents. The entire massive security breach was nothing more than a brilliant criminal operation specifically designed to humiliate the authorities. The federal government literally paid the exact same hacker who violently robbed them to actively catch himself. They formally gave him an official commendation letter for brilliantly solving his very own massive digital crime. They completely destroyed the promising career of their absolute best agent while fiercely protecting the brilliant criminal who played them all perfectly. It was never just a simple con job, but rather a breathtaking piece of dark performance art executed perfectly. He meticulously wrote the entire script and flawlessly cast himself as both the dangerous villain and the ultimate hero. When asked if he was ever suspicious, The disgraced agent honestly admits he simply wanted to believe the kid had changed. The agent was tragically hopeful, while the brilliant hacker saw an open vulnerability and ruthlessly exploited it to the maximum. This incredible true story stands as a chilling testament to the extreme dangers of navigating the treacherous digital underworld. It brilliantly showcases exactly what happens when immense technological power collides violently with raw human ambition and deep manipulation. The rigid authorities desperately thought they could easily control a brilliant mastermind by simply offering him a golden cage. They ultimately learned the hard way that a true apex predator will always rewrite the fundamental rules of the game.